Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a continuation video, a continuation tutorial on how I made this Veekee James inspired overbust corset. If you are someone that likes this type of video, please like, share to your friends and subscribe to my channels to watch more videos like this. So these are the materials that I'm going to be using to achieve this overbust corset. Now the first one is a peplum stay. Yes, I'm going to be using a peplum stay. Then I'm going to be using a boning. I'm going to be using a sewable boning. Then I'm going to be using an air stay. Now the reason why I'm using black was because I couldn't get a white air stay. So the next thing I'm going to be using is a liquid Mikado material. So let's get right into the cutting. So as you can see here, I'm already placing my materials. Now because I have already cut all the materials as one, there's no need for me to be folding them into two. So what I have here is my Mikado and my lining material, and as you can see, I'm placing them one after the other. I'm arranging them according to their positions. So as you can see, I'm placing them after each other, and as you can see, I'm leaving enough space that I'm going to use to add for the sewing allowance. So when you are placing your pattern on your fabric, please don't forget to add enough sewing allowance so you don't end up rearranging them so many times. So after I've added my sewing allowance, I'm going to go ahead and cut them out. So as you can see here, adding your sewing allowance, if you are adding for in between the lines, like you are adding for the bust area, the back area, all you need to add is ½ inch. But if you're adding your sewing allowance for the side, please add 1 inch, whether it's a skirt or a bodice or a corset. If it is a corset, please don't add your ½ inch. Now as you can see, for the back, the center back, I added 1 inch. That's because I'm using a zipper to make this corset. So the next thing I'm going to do is to label them, as you can see, which is very, very important. Don't forget that we have labeled the pattern. So I'm just transferring all the numbers, the labels, I'm transferring them to the fabric, so it will make it easier for me to sew them back together. So I've gone ahead to gum my peplum stay. As you can see here, I've already added my interfacing to my my peplum stay to my Mikado fabric. I'm going to take this to my machine and join them together, then I'll bring them back so you guys can see. So as you can see, I've added I've joined them together using my half inch allowance. Then I've already padded my bust area, as you can see, for the lining. So I did this. I also added I've already joined all my Mikado fabric. I've joined my fashion fabric. I've joined everything together, as you can see. So what is remaining now is for me to iron them. So I'll take them to my ironing table and iron them and bring it back for you to see. As you can see, I've gone ahead to iron them. So I was trying to cut out the excess wording that is on the bust area in order to avoid bulkiness. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm cutting out the excess wording in order to avoid bulkiness. This is very important. This is a very important process for making your work neat. I'm going to do now is to draw out my lines, the lines where I want my boning channels to be. I'm going to draw them out. After drawing for the under bust, I will draw for the bust point line. Then I'll also draw for the style line area. Now, after doing this, you can decide to add more, but I don't want it to be too much, so I'm okay with that. Then I'm going to draw my vertical lines. I'll be drawing my vertical lines to know where my boning, my ridgeline boning is going to be. So as I'm satisfied with the lines, I'm going to take my ridgeline boning and sew them. Then I'll bring it back for you guys to see the results. As you can see, I'm done sewing it, so I'm going to take it to my ironing table and iron it properly. I'm going to give it a good press. and I'm going to be using my bust ham to achieve that. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to sew my ridgeline boning on my lining. Now this part is optional. You can decide to sew your boning directly on your fabric, but because it is a Mikado fabric, I did not want to stress it too much, because I have not understand. This is my first time sewing a Mikado fabric, so I don't want to ruin the fabric. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to sew my zipper. I'm going to be sewing my zipper on my fashion fabric. As you can see here, I've gone ahead to sew my zipper. So the next thing I'm going to do is to flesh my bust area. I've gone ahead to do that. I've gone ahead to flesh it. So after fleshing, I'm going to place them on each other to be able to turn them. I'm able to turn them, join them together. So as you can see here, I'm already pinning my fabric down. I'm pinning my fabric and my lining together. So this, take note that when you are pinning, while you are pinning, don't just pin the lines. Those seams, the seams that you made where you joined each pattern, those lines, make sure that they are aligning in order to give it a perfect fit. That is the best way to go about it. And as you can see, that's what I'm doing here. I'm making sure they are all aligning. So after doing that, I will take it to my machine and sew it up. As you can see here, I've sewn the upper part of my corset with my armhole area. So I'm going to go ahead to notch on the sewing allowance. I'm going to notch on it to give it that flat effect, in order to make it flat, in order to make it slim. also going to do the same thing for the armhole area. So after doing that, I'm going to turn everything in. I'm going to be turning everything. I'm going to be turning everything out. I'll be turning everything out. So the sharp areas, the sharp edges, I'm going to be using a tiny object. If you don't have a loop turner, anything that can fit into that tiny space, you can use it to turn it out. And please be careful so you don't tear, so that you don't tear that place. You don't tear that, so you don't start all over again and restore it. So after doing that, I went ahead to make sure everything is laying perfectly at the front, at the bust area. I make sure everything is laying perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and join the lower part of the corset. Now, before I do that, I'm going to take my hemming gum and place it around the style line area. I'm going to place it around the style line area. I'm going to be placing the hemming gum around all the style line area, the back, the armhole, the neck area, the bust area. You have to keep it firm. That is the reason why it is important to do this. And the reason I'm doing this now, normally I would have waited till when I wanted to iron everything together. But the reason why I'm doing this now is because after sewing the hem area, it might not be easy to put the hem. So that is the reason why it might not be easy to put the hemming gum. That is the reason why I'm putting the hemming gum now. That I'm going to take my pin to pin down the armhole area, and the reason I'm doing this is so that the hemming gum does not leave that place. Sorry, the hemming gum will not come out. I'll do that for both armhole. I'm going to be doing that for the both armhole. Doing that, I'll I will go ahead and join my hem area. Just like I did for the neck area, the style line area, I'm going to be pinning them down seam by seam. As you can see here, I'm pinning them seam by seam, which is very very important. Just like I said, it is very important. It's going to give you a neat finish. So I'm not going to be pinning that style line area, and the reason why is because I'm not I'll the sewing of that is different. I'm not going to sew it the way I'll be sewing the other parts. So I'm just going to pin it down just for stability. Then I'll continue sewing. I'll continue pinning. So after pinning, I'll go ahead and take it to my sewing machine and sew it together. As you can see here, I've gone ahead to sew the lower part of the corset. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure everything is intact. I'm going to iron the I'm going to iron the corset. So before ironing, I wanted to make sure that I've added enough hemming gum at the bust area so that it is going to be stable. I'll be using my bust ham. To achieve this. I will take it to my ironing table using my bust ham to give it a perfect fit. So in order for it not to slip, I'm also going to be using a pin to hold the two fabrics together, which is the fashion fabric and the cut and the lining. So I'm going to be using a pin to hold it together. After ironing, this is what we have. Can you behold this beauty? Even though I'm not done with the finishing, but the corset is giving already. I'm falling in love with this corset. So as it is now, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to finish it. I'm going to be finishing the corset. After doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to bead the corset. Then I will come back and show you guys the results. As you can see here, I'm not done with the beading, but it is giving already. It is giving already. This video deserves an accolade. Thank you all for watching. See you in my next video.